Blessed day to each and every one. I would like you to introduce myself first. My name is Ria A. Tinido. I will be discussing you the revised rules and regulation on the establishment, supervision, operation, and control of customs bounded warehouses or CBWs under CMO number 03-2022. I will be discussing the assigned topic, Section 2 Administrative Provisions, Section 10, 11, and 12. There are specific documents being used in this section and its purpose. Section 18, Suspension and Closure of CBW. Penalties, Violation, and Compliance. And first, I will be discussing you the Section 2, the Administrative Provisions. Section 2 Administrative Provisions. This section outlines general guidelines related to the transfer and storage of goods in CBWs, allowable importations, and operational aspects. Key administrative provisions include first, mandatory non-instructive inspections. So these goods transfer to CBW are subject to to this inspection at the port of discharge. This means this ensure compliance with customs regulations without causing damage or disruptions to the goods for a 100% physical examination. And next, storage periods goods may contain in CBW for a maximum period of 1 year from the date of arrival at the warehouse. So, this storage period, which have a proper inventory management, is a crucial to adhere the storage limit. The storage limit is 1 year. Dapat bantayan nila ang date nga dili sila molapas within 1 year. And next, perishable goods. 3 months. For perishable goods, the maximum storage period is 3 months, extendable for another 3 months with a valid justification, in which means this period can be extendable for another 3 months with a valid reason or a valid justification. And next, non-importation of finished goods. Importation of finished goods for warehousing is prohibited unless approved by the Customs Bounded Warehouse Committee or CBWC as a component for manufacturing another product or export. So this means that the only can be approved is the CBWC or the Customs Bounded Warehouses Committee in for generally prohibited. However, a exemption made of approved by CBWC and the finished goods are be used to component for manufacturing another product for exportation. And next, withdrawal for domestic consumption, generally prohibited, except upon approved by the district collector and payment of duties and taxes, and subject to the uh, 30% threshold limit does not apply of the private CBWs. This means that the withdrawal of code for domestic is consumption is generally prohibited. However, it may be allowed upon approval of district collector and the payment, if applicable, duties and taxes is subject to 30% threshold limit, with does not apply with the private CBWs. So gitagalan silang 30% rather nga mopagawas sa product in the market nga dili molapas within 30% of limitation. Unless kung lapas silang 30%, for sure nga magbayad na pod sila another liabilities na pod. And next, I will be discussing of each sections, their specific documents and its purpose. And here's the titles of each sections. Section 10, Lodgement, Filling, and Processing of Goods Declaration for the Transfer of Goods to CBWs. Section 11, Withdrawal of Bounded Goods. And Section 12, Direct Exportation of Bounded Goods. Section 10, Section 11, and Section 12, their specific documents and their purpose. I will be discussing you their specific documents and their purpose of these each sections. And here's the specific documents. Goods Declaration for Warehousing. We said the purpose, the main document used when the raw materials enter the CBW, it declares the goods are being stored duty and tax-free, manufacturing and export. So, this process encouraging business to import a materials production without incurring immediately tax liability, promoting export-oriented manufacturing. So wala sila ginabayaran na tax because this is tax-free in the WISAD. And next is Goods Declaration for Transit or TSAD. The purpose used for the secured movement of goods under customs control from the port discharge to the designated CBW. This prevents unauthorized access and ensures compliance with customs regulations. Next, specific documents is authority to transfer or sale or the ATS. The purpose, official permit required from the district collector for the transfer or the sale of bonded materials or products to another authorized entity, or for example, other CBW PEZA, Pre-Port Locator. So under the ATS, this ensures that all transfers are properly documented and approved, maintaining control over bonded goods. And next, specific documents is Formula of Manufacture or the FOM. So under the FOM is the purpose of the BOC approved documents that the details exact usage rate of raw materials, input-output ratio, expected finished products, and an acceptable percentage of waste or byproducts. It is the basis for liquidation of the import bond. So under the FOM is the document serve as the basis for liquidation the import bond, ensuring that all the import materials were used as intended and accounted for properly. And next, specific documents is goods declaration for export. So the purpose is the usage when the finished products were withdrawn from the CBW for exportation, it served as the primarily proof that the raw materials were used for their intended purpose, leading the cancellation of the corresponding warehousing bond. So under the goods declaration for export, it confirms that all obligations related to all the import raw materials have been met, and the finished goods are now being exported as per the regulations. So, in the summary of all, the ETS, FOM, and the goods declarations for export are vital documents for managing and controlling the export of goods from customs bounded warehouses. Proper handling and understanding of these documents are essential for smooth and compliant for export operations. Section 18, Suspension and Closure of CBW. This section provides the legal authority and grounds for the district collector to suspend or close a CBW. The authority to operate, or the ATO, a CBW is a privilege and it can be suspended or revoked for a non-compliance. Grounds for suspension and eventual closure generally includes first, submission of false information. Finding that the applicant for the license new or renewal contained materially false information or documents. So if the application for a license, whether new or for renewal, contains materially false information or documents, the CBW faces suspension or closure. Accurate and truthful documentation is essential for maintaining the integrity of the CBW operations. Next, inactivity. Being inactive for at least one continuous year, meaning there has been no record of importation or corresponding legal withdrawal or exportation of goods. A CBW that remains inactive for at least one continuous year is subject to suspension or closure inactively is defined as the absence of any record of importation or corresponding legal withdrawal or exportation of goods. Next, um, violation of customs laws. Any serious or repeated violation of the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act or the CMTA, DCMO, or other customs rules such as unauthorized withdrawal or removal of bounded goods, failure to liquidate the import, entry, and corresponding bond on time, failure to liquidate the import entry and corresponding bond on time, failure to secure the bounded goods against pilferage, loss, or unauthorized access. Voluntary closure, as CBW operator may voluntarily request closure by submitting a written application. For the conclusion of this, compliance with the customs laws and regulation is a paramount for the operation of a customs bounded warehouse. Understanding the grounds of suspensions and closures as outlined in Section 18 is essential for all CBW operators to maintain their ATO or ATO and ensure smooth compliance operations. Penalties, violations, and compliance. Violation or failure to comply, unauthorized importation, or exceeding volume or type limits. Importing goods beyond the authorized volume or type limits is violation. Penalties or sanction. Goods are immediately subject to the payment of duties and taxes as they are deemed imported for consumption. The penalty, immediately payment of duties and taxes as if the goods were imported for consumption. K. Compliance action required. Strict adherence to the authorized materials by harmonized system code or HS code and quantity or volume specified in the CBW's authority or license. The K to compliance stick to the authorized materials and quantities specified in CBW's authority or license using HS code or harmonized system. Next, violations or failure to comply is importation of restricted regulation goods without proper permits. Um, Importing goods or regulated goods without proper permit is a serious violation. The penalty or sanction is goods are subject to seizure or forfeiture proceeding in addition to potential criminal liability. So penalties include seizure and forfeiture plus potential liability. And there, key compliance action required is obtain all necessary permits, clearances from the relevant government agencies before importations. Compliance required obtaining all necessary permits and clearances before importing. Next, violation or failure to comply, breach of accountability, example, inventory shortages, unauthorized withdrawal. A breach of accountability can include inventory shortages or unauthorized removal of goods. Their penalty, sanction, leads to imposition of a monetary penalty and demand for payment of duties and taxes on unaccounted goods. Repeated or severe breaches lead to suspension or revocation of the CBW's authority to operate or the ATO. Penalties for such breaches may involve monetary fines, demands for duties and taxes payment, and uncounted goods, and in cases of repeated of severe violations, the suspension of revocation, the CBW authority to operate or the ATO. Next is key compliance action required. Maintain accurate records, book of accounts, documents, or and inventory. Always and ensure the warehouse is secured against the pilferage and loss. To ensure compliance is essential to maintain accurate records, including books of account, documents, and inventory. The warehouse must be also be secured to prevent pilferage and loss. Next, violation, failure to comply, lack of liquidation. Lack of liquidation. Failure to liquidate imported raw materials within the prescribed time frame constitutes a serious violations. Penalties or and sanction. The warehousing bond is forfeited of forfeiture of security, and the CBW operator must pay the duties and taxes on the unliquidated goods. So, failure to liquidate importation raw materials within prescribed time frame constitutes a serious violation. The penalties is for failing to liquidate goods include the forfeiture of the warehousing bond resulting in loss of security and the CBW operator being required to pay the duties and taxes on liquidated goods. And the key compliance action required is to ensure timely and accurate liquidation of all imported raw materials within the prescribed 1 year storage period. To avoid the penalties, ensure the timely and accurate liquidation of imported raw materials within the prescribed 1 year storage period. And that's all. Once again, I am Ria Itinido from BSCA. Thank you for listening and see you next time.